All right, so today's a pretty cool day. We're mostly going to be talking about this bad boy right here, and that is the Nectar CS12, the Panorama CS12. We're going to be talking about that. I won't be doing a full review on that today. I'm really going to talk about how to really make that a more bold statement in your studio, as well as really making ergonomic. But let's put that on hold for just a second. Here I've got a set of head monitors that I'm in the process of. I'll begin reviewing these. I'm going to get them set up. And these are the digital versions. These are studio monitors. These are digital versions. I've also got the analog version. Now, the differences in that, I'm going to learn that right along with you as we go through it. But I'm going to be doing some pretty detailed reviews and assessments of this. The gentleman that runs the company today is the son. His father actually developed the Atom monitors. You know, you can see Atom eventually got bought out. But I use Atom studio speakers here in my studio and I absolutely love them and have for, gosh, at least over 10 years or so, longer than that, honestly. Then I've got this upcoming really cool microphone from United. All right, now let's get that in focus for you. This is a Twin 48. I'm really looking forward to testing this out. Really excited about this one. So stand by on that. Let me set this off to the side because I don't want it to get damaged. All right, set that right back over there. And then, of course, you know, if you watch social media for any length of time, you've seen this microphone advertised quite a bit. And that is the Dockman Audio microphone here, which is their P48. So you're also going to see me doing a review of that. I'm really trying to get that in focus. Oh my gosh, I can't get it in focus. Anyway, you can see it there. We're going to be doing a review on that. It claims to really be something fantastic. We're going to see, because this is a very economical microphone. So we're going to put that to its test. So I'll probably compare that against a warm audio version of this. And because they're more, even the warm audio is even more expensive than this. But I'll be doing that here up and coming. So for those of you that watch my channel, that have been watching my channel for a long time, you know I've kind of slowed down on doing some videos and everything here lately. And that's because I've been having my butt handed to me. You probably know, if you're new to this channel, I created some really desktop enclosures for a lot of control surfaces. I have some out there for Softube's Console 1, various options for that, as well as their faders, whether you're just doing one or all three. I've got options out there. I'm actually custom designing something right now for a customer to where he has two faders side by side, which I've had that enclosure for some time, but then also allowing the Console 1 to sit directly behind it. I've also done them for PreSonus's Fader Port 16 and Fader Port 8, and I've got those up on the website. And then I'm also working on another for another customer, and that's to be able to design something where they've got a Console 1 that they're using along with their fader port, and they want that to sit directly behind it. So these are things going to be up and coming. You can take a look at all these things that I'm talking about at www.artisanwoodshed.com. There'll be a link to that down in the description below, so feel free to go ahead and check that out. But in the meantime, today I'm launching these new side enclosures for the Nektar Panorama CS12. As I told you before, I'm really getting excited about testing this unit out. I did pay for this with my own money. It wasn't sent to me because I was quite intrigued by it. I wanted something to maybe fill in the gap in a way that the Console 1 doesn't, you know, adding transport and a lot of those things, which I think is a shortcoming of the whole Softube Console 1 / fader system. And that's kind of a shortcoming, but this is kind of filling the gap. So far, I'm fairly confident I'm going to keep using this. So anyway, I designed this beautiful enclosure. I'm going to show you some pictures of what I put together over yesterday, actually. I actually finally finished spraying these with lacquer yesterday, and I think they turned out beautiful. What really makes a difference here, and this is really true of all of the enclosures that I do for various units, and that is what it does primarily first and foremost. I originally did this for myself with the Console 1 system. I'm a big Softube user, and I did this for myself because I didn't like the footprint of it. And so I wanted to try different kind of layouts to be able to, what would work best for me here in the studio. And that is really getting, if you just have a single unit, of course, they already sell the unit where you can get the two units, one like that and then one like that, or however they did it. But I have a very similar one on mine. But then I also did it for the single units. And what it does is I found 15 degrees works perfect for me. And I think most people will agree. I've gotten tons of reviews on my website, as well as I also sell these occasionally on Reverb. I have 5 stars across the board, everyone who's bought one. And let me tell you, when I said earlier that I've had it handed to me, I have had it handed to me. I am a one-man show, which is why I've had difficulty over the last month or 2 months almost of really getting YouTube content out there. Is I've been overwhelmed with the amount of production that I have to do because these things have become so freaking popular, and it really consumes all of my time. I literally never take a day off. I haven't taken a day off in over 2 years, so hopefully you can appreciate that I work hard for this channel as well as other musicians around the globe. But it's been exciting for me. I'm obviously passionate about the studio. I'm obviously very passionate about woodworking. And when I get obsessed, and I am obsessed with all of the above. But so anyway, take a look at that. You can see, so this 15 degrees really puts it to where you can see everything perfectly. You know, depending on what your work style is, sometimes you may find that you have to kind of lean over and look at it to really find out which button you're going to push or which dial you're going to turn or whatever it may be. And so this enables you to really see it, look directly at it, and really puts it in a perfect position. If someone does want custom stuff, I can. There'll be an upcharge for doing custom work for both the design as well as making the product, but you can reach out to me at barryjohns@artisanwoodshed.com. There'll be a link to that down below as well. But another thing that I do, look, there's lots of folks out there who make these really beautiful, full-on enclosures that have the padded armrest and all of that, and they're absolutely stunning. My friend Dennis does that for the SSL units, and I'll put a link to Dennis's website down below as well. I really appreciate him as a human being, but also appreciate the work that he does. He got exciting news yesterday. Vintage King is actually going to start selling his full-on, when I say enclosures, that's all the way around. These things rest inside of it. But again, those are more expensive, and there's a reason they're more expensive. They take a lot more work, a lot more time, and I simply can't produce that in a quantity to do that. So I decided to take a different approach, kind of fill a void where no one else seems to be doing it the way I'm doing it with the quality hardwoods that I choose. You know, I actually go to the lumber mill, I buy all my lumber rough milled, I mill it down, and what I mean by mill it down is none of it's square, okay? You know, in other words, 4-side square, the top face and the bottom face, as well as the sides are all uniformly square, and the board is perfectly flat. So I have to take that through my jointer first, I end up flattening one face joint of the board, then I have to take that face joint, put it up against the fence on the jointer, and then I square one edge to it, so one side to it, and then I have to take it over to the table saw, and then I put that flat surface down that's flat on the deck of the table saw, and as well as the side jointed piece that is 90-degree jointed to that face up against the fence, and then I cut along the other edge, and so now I've got 3 sides square, and then that board goes over to my planer, and then my planer goes through and it makes this the opposite face side, be it the bottom, top, however you want to look at it. It makes that square. So a lot of work goes into this. I have a fairly extensive wood shop out in my detached garage where I do a lot of these things. So there's a lot of work that goes into this, but I pick high quality hardwoods. And when you go to the website, you can choose between a selection of different woods, sometimes kind of like these. This is some extra wood that I had laying around. This species is actually very expensive, like $26 a board foot, which is probably double what typically I'm paying per board foot for most of the wood. Some of it's a little bit cheaper and things like that. Maple's cheaper, cherry's cheaper. But anyway, I decided to use that. So when they'll be kind of, this is in stock. When it's gone, it's gone. I'm not making another one again unless someone makes a special request. Of course, that will get, a little bit more pricey. But speaking of price, the thing that I try to do is make this economical for you. In other words, I do these at a rate that is fair. Like my fader port units, I think they go for $179 for the fader port 8 and $199 for the fader port 16. For the console 1, I have many different versions of that. They go anywhere from $69 upwards to $220 or so, depending on what you're getting, simply because that takes a lot more time to make it. I do these on my CNC machine, as well as the volume of wood being used is greater, as well as the waste. Remember, I've got to factor all that in. So I do all of that, but I'm at some point today, by the time you watch this video, these will be priced. I still have to go and look and see what the price is, because I have to factor in, the size boxes I have to buy and all these other things that, when you're a small business, is a lot more expensive. Later on, these things continue to sell the way they've been selling. Well, I'm going to have to hire somebody, I guess, and I don't want to do that. I want to do these myself. But at the end of the day, I'll figure out that price. So by the time you go look at the website for these, you'll see the price on these. And so I hope you'll check that out. These are just it. So if you own any of those other control surfaces, I'm going to be doing it for Avid's S1 series, as well as a dock. That's going to be next on my list. Oh, and I forgot about this. I forgot to mention this. So I recently had a conversation with Antelope Audio, and they are sending me one of their newer desktop units. And so while I've got that in for a review, I will be making desktop enclosures for that. And I'll be taking a look at some of the other things that are desktop versions. Again, putting it at a great angle for you to be able to see it. And quite frankly, just add some killer beauty to your studio. I think all of us kind of want that. I know I do. And so, which is why I originally did this to begin with. I never intended to sell these things. It was never my intention, but I got flooded with requests. And let me tell you, I have been overwhelmed, and I appreciate that. But I've got to get back doing the YouTube content. That's what's important to me, and that's got to be my main focus point. So I'm trying real hard to get there. And so just bear with me if you're a loyal viewer of this channel. I'll have another video coming out today, kind of getting back in the swing of that. And then as I start putting a lot of this gear through its paces, I've got a lot more gear over in the room over here in the house that I store all these things. A lot more gear coming up. So there's a lot to talk about. And if you're new to my channel, what you're always going to get is the real deal from me. I don't do paid sponsorships. Actually, this video, who's it sponsored by? Well, it's sponsored by me, www.artisanwoodshed.com. Not some other vendor, me. And while I'm here, I might as well go ahead and say it. I do have an affiliation with Sweetwater as well as Thomann over in Europe, where if you use the link down below, it's part of the affiliate program. There's a link down below. If you use that and you go purchase whatever you want to purchase, just use that link, add whatever you want to your cart, and I get a tiny, tiny percentage of it. And that's what sustains this channel here. Because the only money I make off this channel is from my affiliate links, as well as YouTube views. And let's just say YouTube views, I would go broke if I waited for that. A lot of people have misconceptions about that. So, and I also have a full-time job where I work 50 hours a week and have an hour commute each way. So I'm a busy guy. And so I work hard for everybody, but I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it very much. So anyway, take a look at the website, www.artisanwoodshed.com. If you own this unit, you can take advantage of this and start placing orders today. If I have it in stock, and I do have some of these in stock because I did make some of them, but ultimately it's a made to order. So within 10 days of you placing the order, I make them, I sand them multiple times with multiple grits of sandpaper, and then of course I spray it with lacquer, 3 coats of lacquer, and I get this nice high quality furniture finish. And so they're really beautiful. So anyway, so go check that out at www.artisanwoodshed.com. Please don't forget to use the affiliate links. Even if you're going to buy something as simple as a mic cable, every little bit helps me bring you more content in the future. So until next time, hope every one of you have a great day. Bye-bye.